Exciting morning, Africa, Nigeria, and of course, my very own Lagos. A very big special welcome to Ways Breakfast. Hashtag, what are you saying? It's a new month and a new week, of course. Welcome to June, and I'm so excited to be here with you. A special very big shout out to our over 5,000 subscribers. You all are amazing. Thank you for showing us and reaffirming that we are on the right track. You already know, coming here every day to you, our valued viewers, is something I look forward to. And now I wake up to over 5,000 of you. Let's go! Yeah. On this show, we bring to you the best conversations that shape our future, from politics to governance, leadership, technology-driven solutions, innovation, and of course, financial literacy and trending topics are not left out. Piloting you this special morning is I, Okikiola Taiwo Jalukmo. And of course, I'm sharing the table with my best girl, God's Beauty, Israel. Good morning, baby girl.
Good morning.
How do you feel? We have over 5,000 people. Yes,
good,
yes.
you know?
This is how I like to start my month, where there's something to celebrate, there's something to talk about. Although today's topic, you're like, bring it on.
It's important that we actually talk about it, to be honest.
But then it's a new month, new energy, new everything. It's also the month that slices the year into two, where you know that, yes, this is the first half of the month and this is the second half. So how do you feel about it?
I feel good, you know.
Oh, we feel nice. Oh my God.
To be honest, I feel like that's how I'm feeling. But you look beautiful. Energy, come on now.
I dressed for over 5,000 subscribers. I needed to know that this outfit is giving what more people should see. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yes, exactly. But it's beautiful to be here. And of course, I'm happy to wake up seeing you also. Well, for our viewers, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is how we do it on Ways Breakfast. Hashtag, what are you saying? Remember, you are the main ingredient in all our conversations. Mondays are usually about Nigeria and all its spheres of affairs. Well, our phone lines are also open to you. Please call us on 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe now at Official Upgrade TV. Our social media handles are showing right now on the screen, so do well to pick that phone, pick that laptop, and follow us right now. You can also tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this. We'll go on a break right now, and when we return, we'll take you through the headlines making waves in the Nigerian newspaper. Please stay with us.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. Yes, I'm going to say welcome back, our over 5,000 subscribers again. Well, we have to take a look at what's making the headlines today, and we'll be highlighting the top stories from the pages of The Punch, The Guardian, and for the first time, the South China Morning Post newspaper. Godspeed is the only one that takes us around the world, so you need to be here right now. So taking us through...
a private jet, baby.
Oh my God, you see? Okay, let's go.
Oh my God. All right, straight into the South China Morning Post newspaper. By the top left, we have reaching out to the community. And at the top center, families reconsider education option. And at the top right, United States tech corps push innovation. And at the main left column, we have a mediation body would help draw investors. And at the middle right column, we have police swapped by leads on CT cyber attacks. And at the bottom right, which is the last headline on the newspaper, has Philippines not mere porn and superpower rivalry. So I want to talk on two headlines. The first one is families reconsider education option. So we know what's going on with the United States and, Trump's states on Harvard University, right? So because of that, the China's, I think, other universities, they can attend if, things are not going very smoothly or going well with some of the universities in the United States. And I think this is a very good step, even though they have not come out to tell us what universities they think their students should go to. But then there's that mindset of, oh, since this is not working, we have to start looking for other plans. And I don't think we've actually had that here in Nigeria. The least we've done is probably just had a conversation about, what's going on with the Harvard University, what they think about it, how they are also trying as much as possible to not be in the same, follow Trump, with all of the things that he has been putting out there. But honestly, for me, why this headline, stood out is because of the intentionality about ensuring that if one doesn't work out, we move on to the next. And that's also taking me back to the next headline here, which is United States tech corps push innovation. So there's a particular AI chip that they're supposed to import from the United States to China. But right now, there are a lot of policies and, the United States are not allowing them to do, what they are supposed to do with these AI chips and all. And guess what? Instead of them to just sit down and fold their hands and keep watching or probably try to have a dialogue with, Trump and the United States alike, instead of doing that, they are now thinking of, locally constructing theirs. And I think, that's why China is where it is today, because they really do not just sit down and keep thinking about what to do. They quickly make action. Do you understand? And somehow it takes me back to the conversation we had on Friday concerning who moved my chairs, where something has changed. Instead of you sitting there and thinking of what exactly to do, you keep it moving with other things. And I think it's a good one, and I think it's something that Nigeria should actually look forward to, where you see something is not going well. Instead of you sitting down and thinking of what to do, you keep it moving, And honestly, you see these two headlines, it's really, speaking about same thing. So a particular problem with, with the United States is happening, but they're not concerned about that. They're concerned about progress. They're concerned about, okay, what's the next thing? What's our next line of action? And I think it's something that, needs to be applauded, and I think it's something Nigeria needs to actually take on. But yeah, that's all I have for you on this newspaper.
Wonderful. So I wanted to quickly also comment on the Harvard story you touched on, and even on the South China Morning Post, we also have a story here where they're saying Harvard's Chinese students' graduation speech strikes a chord as Trump leads crackdown. I don't think that is on the headline, but it relates a lot with the Harvard, the United States story to stop Chinese people. So they have the first Chinese woman selected student speaker at the Harvard graduation ceremony just a few days ago. And the story here says a Chinese student's graduation speech at Harvard University emphasizing shared humanity and calling for global unity has gone viral days after Trump administration pledged to aggressively revoke the visas of students from China. Yurong Luana Jiang is the first Chinese woman selected to be the student speaker at a Harvard graduation ceremony. And just on Thursday, that was a day, or the same day when the judge said that there's going to not be any ban, they're going to be banning visas from China's, no more Chinese students. It's weird because imagine it's the same time as when a Chinese graduate is saying that, okay, please, this thing, shared humanity is very important. I don't know why the United States decided to face Harvard, maybe because of how they have infused different communities into their school system. But I believe that one way or another, schools, people should have freedom to go to whatever school that they choose, regardless of whether you're trying to improve the economy or reduce the population of immigrants that come into the economy. Education should be free for all, or education should be free for anyone who wants to further, or accessible to anyone who wants to further in any way. Just to take us quickly on the Nigerian newspaper here, we have The Punch, and The Punch is screaming a lot every time, Nigerian newspaper. Anyways, the headline is saying, Grinto, states move to evacuate flood zones. Niger buries 153. States brace for heavy rains. Citizens plead for action. Mokwa survivors fear diseases outbreak. We also have Dangote saying Nigeria's petrol price 55% below West African average. We have Natasha to appear in court on Tuesday for the case of defamation. 7 banks reserve with CBN surge to 18.8 trillion naira. Below that, we have NDLEA intercepts Saudi-bound pilgrims with drugs. Withheld allocation. Osun taps project funds to pay local government workers. Above the mast, we have terrorists eyeing Nigeria, West African coastline, says the U.S. And we have the trade and economic policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we have the Nigerian Customs Services highlighting some of the things that he has brought up and some of the corporate social responsibilities and national development support that the president has brought up. And that's part of the things that we're going to be talking about, some of the highlights, the achievements in that sense, and some of the things that have gone south in another case. But talking about this Saudi-bound pilgrims with drugs, I think this is something that has become very common over the last few months, where there's been an increase in drug transportation from one country to the other. And now they caught these 2 people at the airport, at the international airport in Kano, who were going to Saudi Arabia to go and deliver drugs. And I think they caught them with 90 sachets or 90 packets of cocaine. And it's surprising to see how the North, in that sense, where we are trying to drive change, where we're trying to drive civilization and enlightenment, it's now like the hub where people now see you and then do drugs and try to transport drugs. And I like the fact that they have been able to catch up with these people, and they eventually even arrested about 3 kingpins from their raid, which, well, I'll give the accolade to them for this one, for the first time. And also this whole terrorist, United States saying terrorists is are eyeing Nigeria and West Africa coastlines. I've also mentioned how our borders are very porous, and we need to, more than ever, we need to tighten our security. Let the military do what the military is meant to do. Let the police do what the police is supposed to do. Let community police do what community police is supposed to do. Not this military going into community policing when they're supposed to be at the front line of defending the country and the nation. So for me, that's what really caught my eye at this. I don't know if you have something to...
I think that insecurity one works for me perfect. And also with the drug, because just like you said, I mean, just as we are trying as much as possible to ensure that, you know, there's something I stated, was it that same Friday we were talking about, you know, too many things that are not working well in the country. And I said that in as much as I want to, I mean, I would want to say that I don't like the idea of, you know, some places being more exposed, or, I mean, more accessible to having some technology, you know, expert and all of these things. But then some other states, in the same country, don't have the accessibility, you know, to get all of these things. I really don't buy such ideas, and that's why I feel like now, right? So, I mean, that's why we're even having the conversation we're having today. It's important that in as much as you're bringing up certain initiatives, you should always have, you know, the people in these rural areas, you should always have them at the back of your head, you understand, or at the back of your mind, to ensure that whatever that you're bringing to, you know, the urban area should also go to them as well. well, because to be honest, I don't see a reason why they should even have, we should have, you know, a differentiation, or where we should say, oh, these people are the, you know, people that should have more they should be more accessible to certain things. No, I think that should be, you know, round figure. Everybody should have that. So when we're talking about the whole insecurity thing, I think it's something that, I mean, has been present for over a decade, more than a decade. What am I even talking about? We've been talking about insecurity for the longest of time, right? So it's important that, you know, we ensure that the right people are always on point. I mean, that's why I always want to ask, how exactly do they train these people? How do they even recruit them in the first place? Do you see any random person and you just say, come, you look like a policeman, you can do it, your uniform look well? We need to understand it. They go through all of those things, but then it's not looking like
yes, let's not judge how, being somebody who is also privileged to know some of the trainings that go in the police force, I know that adequate registration and training goes on. Most of the time, I think the results that we see is after they are done with those trainings, but that's just what I can say. But talking in more later is going to be a comment here who is also saying that economy not in crisis. That's by the Guardian newspaper anyways. I'm just going to pick this story because it relates to our topic for today. Economic not in crisis, says presidency as Afenifere rates Tinubu low. But that's all we have on today's newspaper. This morning, I would love you to join us as we discuss President Tinubu's second year in office and what has happened so far, from economic reforms to infrastructure development to challenges and notable achievements. We'll dive into the highlights of his administration. We'll also be taking your questions and comments live on our social media platforms. So please be sure to join our conversation, and we'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned. I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria, we will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve. Well, today, as I mentioned, we're discussing quite an interesting topic, which is President Tinubu's second year in office. We'll explore the key initiatives and the policies implemented by the administration and what that resulting impact of those decisions, one of the significant developments the administration says it has developed is the fact that they have increased, or they have been able to reduce the issuance of passports. It has become a seamless thing for people to now get their passports registered. We've also had cases where the administration has also mentioned, has also mentioned that they have been able to reduce the issues of insecurity. And some other significant developments from the administration is the removal of fuel subsidies. This move is said to be expected to save Nigeria 4 trillion naira annually, which will be redirected to critical infrastructure and social programs. The administration also says it has attracted significant foreign direct investment commitments, including $14 billion pledged by Indian investors. This investment is set to likely boost Nigeria's economy and create new opportunities. Major infrastructure projects are set to be underway, including the completion of the second Niger Bridge, which is expected to enhance the connectivity for over 40 million people in the southeast region. The government has also allocated 2.1 trillion naira to enhance national security, leading to a reported 2.5 percent, or permit me, 25% reduction in banditry and kidnapping incidents. Despite this development, the administration still faces significant challenges, including high inflation, security concerns, and poverty levels. The naira exchange rate remains volatile, but the administration says it's putting efforts to stabilize it. In addition to these developments and challenges, the administration has also made notable achievements in areas like passport issuance, like I mentioned, student loan schemes, and affordable housing. Well, joining us this morning is Sam Yohanan, who is the former organizing secretary of the APC Kaduna State. And I'm so happy to have him here. And from his viewpoint, we'll know what has happened so far. We also want to hear what has happened so far from him. Welcome, Johanna. Do we have you here? Please, could you unmute your mic so I can hear you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm here. Good morning, ladies.
Yes, good morning. Wonderful to have you here.
The same here.
Yes, first of all, before we even go any further into highlighting some of the initiatives that have been brought by the president's administration, first of all, what do you think about this administration? I'm asking you because you were the former organizing secretary of the APC for Kaduna State. So I want to hear, what's your overview of Tinubu's second year in office?
Thank you for having me. It's been a mixed bag of so many things. And as a party chieftain who was deeply involved in the campaign towards the 2023 general election, I will tell you that we have made progress from where we used to be, but there's still work to be done ahead. The reason because Nigerians are going through excruciating pains. And like we used to say, if there is no pain, there is no gain. So, like I said earlier, we made progress, and we're not where we want to be, but we're on the right track to get to where we want. In your headlines that you just read a couple of minutes ago, I listened to you saying some people were caught with drugs at the Malami International Airport on their way to the Holy Land. This has been going on for a while, but it's become more pronounced lately that people that are bound for pilgrimage get themselves involved in trafficking hard drugs. And we all know that in those Middle East countries, the penalty for drug trafficking is death by hanging or firing squad. So I think the Middle East authorities there who are doing the needful, and I'm sure with time, the authorities here will also start implementing such kind of measures. So far, so good. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency here has been a very good job since the emergence of Jarabuba Marwa retired as chief executive of NDLEA. If we notice, there have been improvement in people being arrested trafficking drugs from Nigeria and bringing drugs into Nigeria. So I think that it's being tackled. Yes. Then when we look at other aspects like the economy, well, the economy is picking up very slowly, but like it is, when we take the right direction, it's a matter of time, and we'll get over it.
Thank you so much. I like the fact that you said if you take the right direction, would get better, the economy will get better, and all of that. So let's even start from one of the policies and one of the things that happened immediately, we had President Tinubu on sit, right? So he eliminated the long-standing fuel subsidy that we know about, and his aim was to, redirect the funds to other, other sectors. So I want you to tell me how to evaluate this decision and the impact it has made on the Nigerian economy.
Well, the fuel subsidy regime has been a drain on the economy of this country, and so the past government have attempted not once, not twice to remove the fuel subsidy, but it was a decision that was very difficult for them to take. But when President Tinubu emerged, and he even said it during the campaign that once we win this election, we will remove the fuel subsidy, which has been a drain to the economy. And it was a bold step that not every leader could do that. But President Tinubu did that. Has it added value to the revenue of the country and subnationals? Yes, it has. States have gotten more allocations now for them to be able to carry out infrastructural development, healthcare, education. But the challenge there is that most of the subnationals, this money, majority of these funds are not being used for the purpose it was meant for. If you go to a lot of states now, you see primary schools in dilapidated conditions, pupils sitting on the floor, roofs blown off. You go to some hospitals, you find out that there are not even lights. Surgeries are being carried out with lantern or candles. So I think the president has been calling their attention that, look, stop coming to gather yourself in Abuja every week, every month. Stay at the state level. That is where we campaign and went into nooks and crannies and assured the electorate that if we win this election, we are going to improve things. Now, things are taking a different dimension. And I tell you, majority of the challenge we have in this country are at the subnational level and at the local government level. Virtually in some states, the local government does not exist because most of the chairmen don't even come to the local government secretariat. You only see them at the local government secretariat if the allocation from federation account is available. 1 week, you see activity at the local government level. The second week, third, before we all disappear until when another allocation comes. And we all know that local government is the closest tier of government to the common man, where you have councillors, you have the chairman. Your councillor lives within your environment that every morning if you wake up, you can see him. If you want to see him before he leaves for work, you see him. The local government chairman, if you go to secretariat, you're supposed to see him there. But as it is now, it's a different thing we're seeing entirely. But so far, so good. The electorate are there to tell the elected representative or executive when election comes that, look, we have voted you for the past dispensation, and what have you done? Tell us before we now give you our vote again. So I think those are the things that we have on ground right now. In terms of agriculture, the president has done well. I know he's given a lot of states fertilizers. Here in Kaduna, where I live, I remember we had over 100 trailers of fertilizer that were given to farmers, smallholder farmers, for free of charge. Not a cover was paid. So all these are ways to encourage farmers. So, like I said, it's work in progress.
Thank you very much, Johanna. While you have said so many beautiful things, it's almost very far for the average Nigerian to reach. It's almost like this information is that usually conversational or somewhere just misplaces itself in the news, or we can't find it anywhere on social media in that sense. So if we're going to take it back home, this whole the local government, the governors that you have mentioned that the president has said, go back to your state, go back to your local government. You have had this amount of funds, implement initiatives that's going to advance your state in whatever level. It looks like it's just word of mouth. And we know that in some cases, even in court, without documentation, without evidences, without strict, followership when it comes to
even enforcement.
These things, enforcement, yes, in that sense, these things don't get done. You have also mentioned how these funds are not going where they're not supposed to be. Infrastructure is as bad as nothing is there. So what exactly are we now asking? Or let me not put it that the president has said what he has said. What are we asking? What exactly are we going to do differently to ensure that we are asking the president to do what is right by implementing and enforcing implementation of this infrastructural development that's supposed to be happening in states, and not that they didn't do it this year or they didn't do it next year, and then the next 4 years they're asking us that, you know, that we didn't do it the last year, but this next 4 years we're going to do it again. How do we stop these things from reoccurring?
Well, the electorate and the populace need proper enlightenment. As I sit here, I speak to you, I'm a thoroughbred politician and a grassroots mobilizer. The electorate are not helping matters. For example, if election comes now, primary elections from the party level, you find out that the delegates or the party escorts that will go and vote on that day of the primaries will start negotiating with aspirants. When some of them know fully that some aspirants have credibility issues, they're tainted left, right, and center. But by the time that aspirant decides to dole out money as the highest bidder, they wouldn't mind all the baggages he has and the stains all over him. They will go ahead and vote for him. And that means he will emerge as the party candidate. And the electorate is what the party throw up to them. That's what they vote for. The electorate will also have their own shortcomings. On the day of the election, most people are aware that if you don't mobilize votes, if you don't induce electorate, I'm telling you, even if you're the best candidate, you might not get elected. So, election education, voting education is paramount. People need to be enlightened. People need to change their attitudes. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who represented my federal constituency in Kaduna South. In 4 years, he built more than 250 classrooms. He paid scholarship for over 400 students in Kaduna State University from our federal constituency. He built a dialysis center even before he got elected to the House of Representatives. He constructed roads over 500 million naira. He empowered widows, over 200 widows. I am saying this because I personally coordinated the empowerment of widows, because we have a trend in our campaign team then that we are going to empower the motherless, the widows, and the widowers, because we believe widows are Jesus' wives. So we took that on the front burner. We empowered youths. But do you know what will surprise you? On the day of the election, these same people were empowered. More than 70% of them didn't vote for our election. When we asked them after the election what was the problem, that we didn't give money on the day of the election. My friend got disappointed and said, "Sam, these are people we labored for. We have also made sure that we minimize the rate of pains they're going through. But look at the way they paid us on the day of the election." So, don't you think any other politician elected tomorrow will rather not do developmental projects and keep this money? On the day of election, he comes and put peanuts to them and gets elected. I don't know, let's not take that route. Let's keep doing our best. One day, they will get out of this quagmire they're in. I agree, things are hard. But would you go and mortgage your 4 years for 2,000 naira or 5,000 naira just because you want to have a peanut on that day? So the electorate have their own challenges. That's why you see enlightenment matters a lot, and education matters a lot. Some of them don't even know their left from their right. They just assume that all politicians are the same. If they don't collect that peanut on that day, if they get someone elected, they might not see him in the next 4 years. They also have a reason to say that, because we have some elected representatives or elected executives. Once they are elected, you don't see them again. They don't take phone calls. Even when they visit the constituency or the local government, they come in tinted vehicles. You only see them 6 months, 1 year to the general election, and they only come around when the party primary is around the corner, which normally takes place like a year before the general election. So there's a lot of work to be done. This conversation we're having with you people, I would be glad if we can be having more of this conversation with politicians and elected executives and electorate and the civil society. That will help us to make a tremendous progress in the near future.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you've got witty.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Johanna. I wanted us to talk about this borrowing that we've been seeing with, this current administration, right? So of recent, I mean, I'm very sure everybody saw that, I think that was last week, where the president sought the approval of the National Assembly to get a loan of that something around 21.5 billion US dollars. I want you to tell me what you think about, this borrowing tactics that we've been doing of recent. I mean, with this, it has been happening with even the previous administration, but I really don't know. Some people say that it's more in this administration, but I mean, it's not on me to say. Tell me what you think about it.
Well, borrowing is not a bad idea, but if you borrow for a purpose. We all know that the budget was made on $75 per barrel. And as we speak today, I think it's about 60 point something per barrel. Where is that shortfall? How are we going to augment that shortfall? Already we have projects we've lined up in the budget to be implemented. So we need to borrow. But my advice is, if we get the money we're borrowing, let it be plowed into this particular project, not into things that are not in the budget. Infrastructure, we all know that we have infrastructure deficit in the country. You made mention of Second Niger Bridge a couple of minutes ago. Yes, that's a very important road in the southeast, because the existing bridge now, the Niger Bridge now, it's over, I think, 50 or 60 years. And that bridge is long overdue for another one to be by the side. And now the Second Niger Bridge has come up. And I think what is left now, it's the former administration has almost completed about 70–80% of that project. What is left now is the access road from the Asaba end of the bridge to be completed, so that people can start using the bridge. So in the course of presenting the request for borrowing, I think I overheard them saying that part of the money will go into settling pension liabilities. Pension liabilities, it's a huge, huge, huge challenge all over the world. And you see, our aged parents that have worked, have retired now, need to be taken care of. In as much as we know that the pension they normally give is nothing to write home about, but it's better than not. So part of it will go into certain pension liabilities. And I think part of a substantial part of that money will go into infrastructural development. Without infrastructure, we can't make progress. No country develops without infrastructure. And so far, so good. I think this government has done well in terms of infrastructure, in as much as there's a lot of work to be done. The coastal road, I think the 30%, or is it 30-something kilometers have been completed from the Lagos end, which is a good one. That will link up the coastal area very well, so that there can be activities on that route. Kaduna, Abuja, it's also ongoing, which was used to be handled by Julius Baja from Abuja to Kano, but along the line there were issues that the Abuja-Kaduna end was not properly attended to. The reason Julius Baja gave was because of the insecurity on Abuja-Kaduna. That has abated now. Abuja-Kaduna road now, it's almost no any security challenge. That applied that route even in the night in the last couple of months. But the Kano end has been completed about 98%. So for some reason now there's a new contractor handling the Kaduna Abuja end of the road, and we're hoping that they give like 2.5 years to complete it. So and that's a very important route from all people coming from the north heading to the north central and the federal territory. So, like I said, if the borrowing the money will be spent on the purpose of borrow for that, there's nothing wrong about it. We're still not at our threshold of borrowing. We're still within the limit, but we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful because servicing those loans come with some serious consequences. So I'll be delighted if the government will use the money judiciously, like I advocate. And like we promised Nigerians that we will get them out of the quagmire that they pay. If there is no pain, there is no gain. But I think we've made progress, and as a party chieftain, I also advise my party that some of those policies need to be moderated because they're very good policies, but the sequence of which the policies are being rolled out is very, very hard. Very hard, and it's taking a toll on Nigerians. For example, if you have malaria now, and they prescribe 3-4 days injection for you, you're supposed to take it one every. If at the end of the day, the doctor insists that you take all the 4 doses the same day, we all know the kind of pains that particular patient will go through. That's what is happening to the policies of the present regime. The policies are being rolled out instantly, immediately, once this one Nigerians. And Nigerians are going through excruciating pains. But like I said, if there's no pain, there's no gain. So I'll request the government, please, some of those policies be implemented with the human face.
So I like the fact that you have been here and there at the same time. You have been able to highlight some of the things that the administration is not taking into consideration, and also some of the things that the administration has been able to implement successfully, and some of the things that should be critically looked at when it comes to implementation process. But we need to quickly take a breather, and then when we come back, we'll go straight into party dynamics. And I'm sure Joanna is the right person that's meant to be here to tell us more on how party dynamics has also affected the economy in general. So please stay with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm sure we still have Joanna here with us. So my question is going straight to the All Progressive Congress in that sense. As a former organizing secretary of the APC, how do you think that the party policies and initiatives are being implemented? We know this whole coalition thing that has been going on, and just on the news today we had where they're saying that the APC is mocking the opposition coalition as they are sorting for candidates, and there's campaigns have even started for Tinubu's second term, even after a lot of Nigerians, just like you've also rightly stated, that are going through excruciating pain. So how do you think that the party's policies and initiatives are being implemented, and what are the successes in that sense or challenges that you've been able to identify, and then we would love to know?
Let me find out. Let me understand. You said campaign have started. Is it official campaign or unofficial?
No, not official campaign. Unofficially, I've been seeing a lot of billboards, a lot of party meetings, and all of these just for the next election, the next major election that's coming up.
Okay. Yes, billboards have been flying around, and flyers have been flying around, banners have been there, consultations have been going on, 1 or 2 gatherings has taken place. If you notice, all the billboards you've seen around, there's one of those billboards you will see that vote for me for social position 2027. It's against the Electoral Act. That's why you see that most of the people don't carry the right of that. So they just do it openly. Unofficially, the campaign is on, but not official. And I think there's no restriction on that. For the coalition thing, if you check most of the people that are in the coalition, these are people that used to be in various political parties, either some people from PDP, either some from APC, some from Labour. I look at them like people that are not too comfortable with where they used to be in the political party, and they decided to shift the ground to other places. We all know that we have freedom of association in Nigeria and freedom of speech, but there's a limitation to where you can say certain things, and if it has to do with the national security and welfare of Nigerians. Coalition is good. We emerge through coalition. If you remember, they used to be what we call legacy parties. CPC there.
Yes.
General Mahmoud Buhari spearheading. ACN, the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu spearheading. Then ANPP, that was been spearheaded, I think that later Ubona Oni.
Yeah.
Then part of APGA that Rochas Oweli brought. So, and the NPDP then, the 5 of the governors came from Otimi Anichi, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, Mochela Hapo, Bukola Saraki, Kao Bora Baraji. The coalition brought us to where we are today. By the way they're going about this present coalition, I don't see it seeing the light of the day. The reason because majority of them that are in the coalition are not there for the interest of the common man. They're there for their personal interests. 1 or 2 of them did not get appointment in this government and decided to leave the party. What I ask the people that have been following them to coalition, if these principal actors spearheading the coalition had gotten appointment in this government, would they have left the party and form coalition? So people should be very careful jumping around, following people up and down. People that have been in government in the past, what did they do to help people? I agree, some of them perform in their various states as governors. But the question here is that, must you remain in government forever? I used to be a party executive, but today I am not. So we can't be in a position at the same time. We can't all be in the position at the same time. So I've left, but still I'm a loyal party member. I'm still supporting the party in a way that I think we can make more progress. So, coalition, let's watch and see. It will be too early to start determining the level the coalition will get to. But I bet you, the way I know most of those people that are in coalition, in the next few months or towards 2027, you will see them, they will end up in another party. Because these are people that hardly tolerate people. Once their interest is not being guaranteed, they move on. No ideology. And let me tell you something. The moment you are not contented with the little you have, you cannot even be contented with the larger distance you will get. So we're not moved by the coalition. We're not jittered. These are people we've known for years. We've been together with them. We know their intricacies. We know their tactics, and we know all their plans. So by the time we get to the bridge, we'll cross the bridge.
Quickly talking about the ideologies. We've seen a lot of cross-carpeting that has been happening. It's almost like 1 minute you can wake up and you're a PDP member, the next minute you have cross-carpeted to the APC. How is the party handling those huge numbers of cross-carpeted governors and local government chairmen, which in my own view, some are looking at how to secure the next term of government for themselves. Some I wouldn't want to speak for them, but it somewhat seems like a lot of people are just moving here and there, out and in of parties. And I know very well that a lot of the parties that we currently have, the APC have their own ideology, the PDP have their own ideology, and other parties that also exist have their own ideology. But when it comes to cross-carpeting, it's almost like the ideology, when you leave this party, you dump the ideology of this party and then jump in. It's no longer about your values, your morals, or anything in that sense. It's just the mindset of securing the second term or whatever term that they're aiming for. So how is the APC handling the League of Cross-Carpeters?
Well, it's an individual thing. You never can satisfy a human being. And like I tell you, people come into positions with a mindset. And once they don't get what they want, they move. People hide their true nature and character until when they're in position, then you now see it glaring. The party, no party wants to lose members.
Right.
As politicians, we want addition. We don't like losing members. APC too have lost few members. And we're not happy. We did all our best to see that we retain some of those members. But when it gets to a level, you can't convince someone to stay, you allow him to go, because it would be dangerous for you to keep somebody that is not willing to stay with you under the same tent. Because it's like harboring an enemy within. It's like keeping a mole. So, have we gained other members? Yes, we have. And as they come in, we're happy. We're also very careful with some of them that are coming in, so that it doesn't become like the ones that have left. Maybe the ones coming in now have come in for a particular reason, and if they don't get what they want, they move on, or they remain within our fold and decide to be moles and be feeding the other opposition parties of our tactics, our movements. So we're also very careful. And you see, when we're coming in 2015 as the APC now, I'll speak, we promised Nigerians that we'll fight corruption, we'll fight insecurity, we'll revive the economy. But when you're outside government, you see it different. By the time you come in, you see it different. I must speak to you now because I'm a Liberal Party member. Where we have done well, we should be praised and we should be patted on the back to do more. Where we have not done well, I'll say it. When we came in, there was serious insecurity in the Northeast, where Boko Haram overran about 3 or 4 states, part of 3 or 4 states in the Northeast. There were no activities in close to 20-something local government in Borno State. But as we made progress, we made sure that we liberated most of those local governments. Then another ugly trend of insecurity now appeared in the Northwest and North Central. That's banditry, cattle rustling, kidnapping. That has been a serious challenge affecting agriculture. People can no more go to the farm now for the fear of being kidnapped or being killed. And that has affected the food production in the country. That's why you see the price of foodstuff have risen. You are in Lagos, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. You know most of the foodstuff you buy in Lagos come from the north.
Of course.
Be it beans, maize, perishable items like tomatoes, pepper, onion. At the peak of the banditry, people cannot go and even harvest these crops. If you're lucky to go, you might have paid some levy to the bandits to allow you to harvest your crop. But as I speak to you now, we have made tremendous progress in eradicating those bandits. Most of their major kingpin, their warlords, have been eliminated. It got to a point that they were running riots all over the ungoverned spaces. Non-state actors took charge. But thank God, with the effort of Mr. President, I think a lot of villages now, people can go to their farm, but we still have few that they are security threat there. Is the government doing something to get it sorted out? Yes, the government is doing something. So for education, we also know that the President had, in his wisdom, introduced the student loan scheme. In the last 3 weeks, I've seen beneficiaries of this program via National Registration Agency making statements that they didn't know how they were going to be in school until the student loan scheme came up. These are true confessions. And we'll be glad if more of this can be there. I'm aware that I think additional funds are there for the student loan scheme in this year's budget.
Thank you very much.
So there are challenges, and we're making progress. And
yes, thank you very much, Johanna. Thank you for joining this conversation. Unfortunately, we have to go now, but I'm hoping that the extra 2 years that the president has, some of the things that you have also mentioned, he's going to take into consideration. Some of the challenges that Nigerians face, I'm hoping and also praying, as we commonly do in Nigeria, that it improves in that sense, and then we can have a better livelihood for everyone who lives in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. And of course, GosBT is always here to help me to get Nigeria working again. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your service. And to our viewers, thank you again for joining us on this critical and important conversation. Remember to follow us on all our social media channels and platforms. Our YouTube channel is also very much open for you to subscribe at Official Upgrade TV. We'll see you again tomorrow with another great topic. Please stay with us. Oh, bye. Bye.